Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Not too bad.
Good. And tell everyone who you are.
Hello, my name is Mia Sanders. I am 15 years old and will be a sophomore at Grant High School in fall. I have been playing flute for just under 3 years, and today I will be performing Sonata in D major by Leonardo da Vinci, Movement 1, Adagio.
Fantastic. Okay, let me just take a look. Okay, I'm going to actually make a little snapshot of it. Do you mind? Because I don't have this one. This is the second piece I don't know today, but I'm excited because there's so much flute repertoire. But you know, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Great, beautiful. You sound great. Really wonderful. Okay, so when do you think this was written? Do you know?
It says that he was alive 1690 to 1734. So.
Right. So what era is that sort of?
Let me see. Baroque.
Yes, Baroque, and then it kind of goes over the cusp, as they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So great. So that means that your trills are all going to start from which note? The upper note, unless what?
I don't know.
Okay, so unless they're preceded by the note that you are trilling to. So in which case, sometimes you want to do like a double appoggiatura, right? So in this case, like the upper note is fine. This is upper note, right? So that for sure is an upper note. But for this one, we're coming from the top. That's nice to do it coming from down. That one's upper, right? And then also, what about the appoggiatura? They're all good, I think. Yeah, upper note. Yeah. What about how long do you want to do that little grace notey thing?
So according to my teacher, this one right here, where there isn't the slash through it, it's supposed to be more even, but the other ones are supposed to be kind of shorter.
Okay, great.
That is
good.
my understanding of it.
That's correct. Absolutely. Okay, now let's start from the beginning one more time.
Okay.
And this is pretty ornate, and I wonder, like, have you guys talked about ornamentation?
A little bit, minorly, not a lot.
And what has your teacher said about it?
Just kind of that this era, a lot of music had a lot of ornamentation.
Oh, totally.
But not exact specifics.
Right. You know, a good thing to look at actually are the. Can I write on this? Do you mind if I
Yeah.
write? Okay. Just like start writing on your stuff. But there's a, George Philip Telemann, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So he wrote like 12 methodical sonatas, and they're on IMSLP.
Yeah.
And that's not spelled correctly. Now it is. Okay. And what they are actually is you see these kind of slow movements that are just very simple, like half note, quarter note, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then underneath it, there's like an incredibly ornate version. So he actually did these versions of these. Yeah, so you can study ornamentation by looking at the slow movements of these sonatas. So you can see like how all this like gets filled in and
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, but this is all pretty much stepwise and scalar. So you might, you might add a few things in, but we can talk about that a little bit later. First thing we want to make sure that we do is we take it's like mezzo forte, right? Big breath, right? So I feel like take a good breath, but maybe you're not using your air. Do you feel that way? Have you heard that before?
I've been working on breathing a little bit. It's still a little new to me, the specifics of it.
Okay, so tell me what your understanding of it is, because maybe I can help you with that also.
So one of the things that my teacher has been saying is that I have to push more of my air out from lower. Like I'm not using my full lung capacity.
Yes.
So I've been working on long tones
that.
and stuff like that, trying to increase those muscles and use them more effectively.
Do you understand how this whole system works?
Mostly, I would say.
Okay, so what is, and tell me what your understanding of it is, because everybody's understanding is slightly different. And part of the reason why this is so complicated, it's not your fault, it's not anyone's fault, it's because everything is invisible. Okay, it's like string players, everything is like, okay, violin, bow, everything. They make a much better sound than that, but it's like you can see everything. You can see the attack. You can see we don't have windows or zippers. Like, look what my stomach is doing when I do that. So everything is like mysterious. And then people they talk a lot about support, and some people just say sing more, and then so you can start to get very confused, and then you start to use your muscles in really like weird ways, and then you go through life without really understanding it. So what is and I'll tell you what my understanding of it is, and then we can see how close they are, and then maybe we can make a new understanding. Okay.
So my understanding is that when you breathe really deeply, everything kind of opens, and you breathe into all the sides of your lungs, especially the back.
Yes, good.
And down into your stomach. And then when you are blowing into a flute, not just breathing out, but like blowing, you can kind of use your diaphragm, and you like lift and push kind of up almost. That's what it feels like to me.
Okay, so yes, but let's talk about that. Yes, this is all really, really good. And that you said that the air goes into the back, that's all really, really important. So, okay, a way to get a really deep breath actually is through your nose. Breathe in through your nose once. It goes deeper. Now, let's talk about the torso. Okay. Because there's a lot going on. Now, you have muscles around your ribs, and you have your stomach, which is in your abdominal cavity, and your lungs, which is in your thoracic cavity. And you don't have to remember these words, but there's a really great article. If you like after class, I'll just write down my email address. And I forgot to give this to Diego, and if we can get my email address to Diego, that would be great too, because I'm happy to answer any questions you have. But I have an article that I think will be really helpful for you. It's by my friend and colleague Ransom Wilson, who's been here at the festival many years, and he teaches at Yale University. And he wrote this brilliant article for the National Flute Association pedagogical anthology thing. Anyway, and he goes through this whole thing and talks about the mechanisms and everything with all the fancy words I'm about to use. And then I put diagrams in because I thought like it needed some diagrams, some color pictures and things, because people like pictures when they're reading, scholarly articles. Anyway, so you have the thoracic cavity, which has the lungs, and you have the abdominal cavity, which has all the other stuff, okay? And the thing that separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity is your diaphragm. But your diaphragm doesn't really have anything to do with support.
Really?
Which is what, can you feel it?
Not really.
Not really. And the diaphragm is so cool because what it does is when you say, I want to play the flute, you breathe in, and it does this really cool thing, and I'll tell you what that does in a second. And then when you're sleeping at night, you don't have to think, I want to stay awake and I want to live, so I better make sure that I'm breathing every breath. Your diaphragm just kind of does its thing all night long. So it's voluntary, it's a striated muscle, it's an involuntary and voluntary muscle. You can act upon it, but it also just does its thing, which is really good, okay? Because it keeps us alive.
Important.
Yay, bonus, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is, when you breathe in, there's this muscle, the diaphragm goes from here and to the back, right? So it's basically like a pizza when it's fully extended, and when there's no air in your body, it goes up into like a bowl shape. So you say, I want to breathe, I want to play the flute. And the diaphragm says, okay. And what happens is you say breathe in, and the diaphragm goes like this, boom. And it turns into a pizza. and then it creates negative pressure in your lungs and pulls the air in.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's so cool. Then you got all these muscles along the ribs, right? You got your intercostal muscles. This again, I'll send you the article. Don't worry about it. There's no quiz. Okay. And what happens is the intercostal muscles, there's two sets. There's internal, of course, and external, right? So the internal ones, when you breathe in and say, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to play the flute, the internal ones say, okay, everybody get ready. And then the dark one goes, pizza. They relax and everything goes like this. And then the external intercostal muscles, we got to get this air out of here now. We got the air and we got to get it out. And they push the air out like bellows, like when you fan a fire with those bellows. So that's what happens. That's the mechanism. Now, interesting. Here's what support is. The intercostal muscles, they're big, they got air, they're supporting all the air. The external intercostal muscles say, we're getting rid of it. And the internal intercostal muscles say, we're going to go at this rate. So the opposition of those two forces is support. It's like when you get on your bike and you're riding your bike around town and you have an outer tube and the inner tube. And when you don't have a flat tire, that inner tube keeps the outer tube in good shape so you can get home from school. Yeah. Okay, that's what support is. All you really have to do is control the air and the speed that you're doing it with and make sure the air goes deep enough. And it's a very relaxed thing, as opposed to being a really tense thing, which is, I think, what you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know how I can tell you're feeling that? Because when you play, you're not blowing enough air. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So
this is fascinating. Well, I'm a total science nerd, so this whole muscle talk is
my goodness. Oh, see, cool. I'm a science nerd, but I don't know anything. So I would like to be a science nerd, but
yeah, no, I'm always the one who's nerding out when everybody else is sleeping. So.
Okay, so you need to totally. That's a T, okay? OC, right? HOC. Okay, totally do that, and I will get that to you.
Yeah,
then you can,
I'm
you're gonna love it. So have you done finger breaths yet? Have you done those?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Open your mouth, put your finger like that, and go like this. Okay, now, but I want you to take a really big one, like, and listen.
Yeah.
I want to take more air than I need.
Okay.
Okay, so let finger breath. Here we go. Okay, try it. Now stop. Now. And do another phrase. How does that feel sound-wise now?
Feels more open.
Yeah,
feels bigger.
Way bigger.
Okay.
It's way bigger. So what I like about the finger breath is that the sound that you make tells you like how much air, like the pitch of the air tells you if it's here like this, you're not getting any air in, right?
Right.
Mouth has to be open, but also what it does when you put the finger here, it's like this, you have resistance, so it forces you to actually breathe in a little fuller and faster. Huh. This is a Keith Underwood thing. He's one of my teachers too. He's incredible, actually. And do you have one of those ping pong ball machines?
No.
Okay, you need to get one of those because those are. All right, let me write that down. Because the ping pong ball machine is going to show you. That's like not. There's a similar one that they give you when you've had surgery, but this one is way more high tech than that one. Ping pong ball. It's on Amazon. And it looks like a colored tube, and it's got a ping pong ball on the bottom. And then it's got 2 straws that comes with. Take the little one and like use it for drinks. You want the big fat one for flute because flute is like the bottomless pit of air.
Resistance.
Exactly. Yeah. You create resistance here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, airspeed is controlled by how fast you blow, not how hard you tongue. Right? This trill is going to be from the upper note.
Okay.
Which is going to be hard. You're gonna love it. Wait, first take a finger breath. Yep.
Should I add a turn or no turn?
You know, because he's on the cusp, you totally can.
Okay.
It's called a Nachschlag.
Interesting.
I think that's how you spell it. I'm not German, I'm Irish. Gotta go from here again. Nice. Now take a finger breath. If you want to do there. And if you're going to do the C sharp to D, leave these fingers down. Why lift them? Yeah. So it's kind of Baroque anyway.
Okay.
Try it. It's going to be really weird. The teacher's going to be like, why did you try to leave that down? Like, what's that?
Trill.
Oh.
Just makes me think of it.
Yeah, there's just one Nachschlag. Don't put the trill on there. Yeah, so actually you're just going to write these two little dudes in.
That works.
But doesn't that nice? And also it kind of keeps the C sharp from getting really sharp, if you know what I mean, right?
I do know what you mean.
Right, because my teacher always told me to play C sharp with these two fingers down anyway. Like,
really? Always?
always. But like sometimes you can't get to it. Like if you're playing really
Right.
fast notes, it's like, oh, forget it. No, just lift them. But
On long notes.
yeah, exactly. So I don't mind you like stopping and actually really just taking a good finger breath and then you know getting in again. So take a finger breath from here and go. That's not a good one.
enough.
That was- yeah. So and actually let's do a slow one like this. Look, listen. Oh. Nice. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So this is you don't have this key, right? The extra doolittle here.
No, I don't.
Right. So then I'm so sorry to say you have to do this. Thumb, L1 and thumb are what you have to do. L1 and thumb. Blah, 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 blah. And here, I would put the breath here because I feel like we've had a lot of eighth note pickups. So definitely just organize your breathing here.
Okay.
Okay? Go from there. Good. And let's play that once together because now you're like, this is quite a long value and it's not that long. Does that make sense? Go from here with me to, I'll probably play wrong notes because I can't see and I don't know this piece. We're ready. Right, and what's really cool about this one, because this note is the upper note, this is like a long appoggiatura, so I might even do this, you know what I'm saying? I might like do that and go like this. So and not articulate the B.
Okay.
Try it from the F sharp. You might like it.
I didn't breathe in deep enough.
Good. And one more time with me just for timing. 2. Keep going. Go ahead. Okay, now, this is hard to get to, right? So, actually play these two notes a little bit lighter, and then make a crescendo right there, and then take a breath here. Go ahead. not to help yourself by dipping the flute, because when you dip the flute, then you kind of lose contact point. So look where I am. I'm in the wrong line is where I am. Flute's just stable.
Okay.
I find that when I have lots of notes, if I don't move a lot, I probably have a better luck of getting them all out.
Interesting.
If this is like, can you imagine playing a piano and when it gets hard, the piano starts to move for you?
Yeah, that would be hard.
That would be really awful, right? So try to think of my keys as like a keyboard on a piano. So it's just like, why make it harder by changing the distance from my fingers? Mm-hmm. So even though like when I put the flute down, the fingers are slightly different height than they would be if they were here, right? The distance slightly increases.
Huh.
Depending upon how tense you are. Right?
Yeah.
The other thing that might really help you too is when you go home, you want to lay on the floor with your knees kind of like bent like this. So you're basically going to do this, and then put a book under your head like this. And your knees have to be up so that your back goes into the floor so you can feel when you breathe in your back expanding. Start your practice session like that. Just breathing.
Okay.
Okay? Because that's really going to help you. It's really going to help you kind of get in touch with the muscles. Because when we stand up, actually, if you lock your knees at all, are you a knee locker?
Every so often, it changes depending on.
Okay, so lock your knees for a second and feel where your hips are.
Oh, they're much higher.
Yeah, and then now bend. And now lock your knees like this and breathe in. And you'll find that you can't get any air into your tummy. Into the tummy area,
yeah.
Right? That's because these muscles are stretched and these muscles are contracted because the back part of your back is higher.
Flares your pelvis a little bit.
Exactly. Now, if you bend your knees a little bit, like you're riding the subway, we're riding the A train, okay? You're in New York with me, ride the subway, ride. Okay, now breathe in. So much better.
Yeah, you can get it way deeper and more
way
open.
deeper. So try like if you're a knee locker, walk out, lock your knees, and be like, not gonna play like this. Okay, I'm gonna ride the subway. That's why my pants are always like this, so you can't see my knees. Like I'm skiing. Yeah, I know it's not that extreme, but yeah, exactly. Go from here.
Core workout.
Right, like against the wall where the hostages, right?
Exactly.
Is that what they are? Right, yeah, against my. The squat
like
things, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, go from here. Good. Now, can I ask you one?
Breath at the end.
But also, there's two things you're doing, which might be interesting to know.
Okay.
I sometimes think that you open your mouth, but you don't actually breathe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Listen for a second. Like, okay. Tons of air.
Yeah.
So let's just hear if we can hear you breathing.
Well, now I'm gonna think about it. So
Well, now you're probably gonna breathe, right? Exactly. All right. Let's just listen to that. Listen to, and I don't do this. Like, check this out. I don't go like, this is another bad habit that most people have, which I had to break. Like, if I can sense that there's a bad habit, it's because I've had it.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
So I mean, it's human, right? Human experience.
Everybody ends up with the same bad habits.
Exactly. Because we're like, you're not that different, right? If I go like this, if like that is the worst breath on the planet because I kind of like stopped the air and then I was like, and then I took a breath really late. So I'm going to do something now where I call fill the space with the breath. What key am I in? That's a good key. right? So try that from here. Like you really fill the space with the breath, okay? As soon as you stop playing, just turn the air around. Don't worry about it. Again.
Okay. I'm thinking about my breath now.
I know, it's okay. Breathe. Yeah, what do you think?
That is better. It feels better.
Yeah, of course it does. Okay, I have just 1 more second, right? Okay, now this note here is going to be on the upper note here,
Okay.
right? Just get these all on the uppers.
all the trills.
The other thing that I don't hear you doing consistently is articulating. Have you heard that before?
I'm sure I probably have. I've basically heard everything before.
Right, so try that in our last remaining 30 seconds. No pressure. Okay, let's take
That is the worst possible thing you can say to somebody
I
who's
know,
about to play
about
this.
to breath. I know, because you're like, air, air, air. Oh, no, I'm laughing. Right, now, with a little more airspeed,
Right.
that would be awesome. But did you also hear, like, when you start tonguing, you actually use less air. Because the tongue is delivering the note
Right.
to the... Right, so just articulate.
Yeah.
Like, you do really nice articulation here, but, like, throughout the whole thing, you're slurring kind of the whole thing, which was really interesting to me. So when you get that ping pong ball thing, blow the air in, blow the air out, blow the air in, and then take the air in, and then double tongue, like... And keep that ball up, and you'll be like, oh man. And then when that gets easy, start covering holes. Don't cover all of them because you'll blow the ping pong ball out the bottom. But cover one hole for more resistance, more resistance. Then you can really feel how much air you really need to move to play the flute and how much air you need. Basically what you want is like, you want like a gas tank that never runs below half empty. So you
Yeah,
have
that's
all
a
that
good way of thinking.
reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. You
Okay.
sound great.
Thank you
So
much.
nice to meet you.
This was so helpful.
I'm so glad. And do email me because
Yeah.
I will send you that article
I will,
and you will
totally.
flip. Just do
Yeah.
it tonight.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Sure. Bye. It's great. So fun.